too.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna go live. What is up, everybody?
Hey! Welcome to the live stream. If you don't know where you're at, this is the super critical interactive FPV show. I just had to run to get some booze and soda, but I'm back. Obviously, we have some amazing new faces who have joined us today, and we will get into introductions. But let your friends, let your family know that we've gone live. And why don't we, Dan? Why don't we start off by watching a video as people kind of come on in, and then we'll introduce everybody after.
Yeah. Let your family know. I want your grandma here. I want your weird uncle, your auntie. Bring them all in. Oh, Cheese, what's up? Ritter FPV in the chat. Sergio, Michael from Fly Zone Drones, Prop Bender, Forevermore. What's up, my friends? Thank you for joining us. And yeah, we tend to start out the stream. I kind of try to keep my eye out for some videos that kind of excite me on the freestyle front. And this week, I don't know how to pronounce it exactly. And Fauv, F-A-U-V .fpv. Some really, really great, stylish and in control flying here. Definitely not the way I fly, but it is sick. Oh. New feeling from Fav FPV. Ooh, that sucks.
Damn.
But it's like, man, this style where it's just like someone so like consistent and locked in.
Is this guy French or what?
I think he might be.
I know you like your Frenchies.
I'm not sure, like French or Spanish. I don't know, man. Overseas in Europe, they had some really cool stuff going on the FPV front.
Damn, that inverted yaw was freaking locked.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so good.
It was like horizon lock.
Yeah, dude. That's
from
the
a
thing.
Rubik's Cube too. That was pretty impressive.
He's super precise with it too.
Yeah.
Except right there, his roll was a little off axis there, you know.
I haven't noticed.
Well, if you want to be nitpicky.
He
No,
left.
man,
He left his 3D print in the upper right and bottom right corners.
No, his dingles are in frame.
Oh, and there's left too, and they're not moving. So like this is all. There's no.
That's how you know it's not
Yeah, there's no
hyper smooth.
stabilization.
Yeah.
I've been noticing that a lot more too, where people are leaving like telltale things in frame, and it's. I think that I might start turning the stabilization off again because.
Well,
see, that's some like spangy type stuff that I like. Like just an open field and a bunch of spang is just, I don't know. But all those, the obstacles and everything, it makes it a lot more interesting.
yeah, what's like really different and kind of cool about that is, like, for instance, the way I like to fly, I'm almost kind of a slave to the spot a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always looking for gaps and obstacles and things in the area that I want to fly around. Whereas, like, a lot of the Spang guys, they don't really have that much, so they're really being ultra creative with open spaces. It's really cool.
I think we have some Spang entries as well, but before we get to that, that was a great pick, and that was again Fauv FPV. If you're not following him, please start following him, and we'll let him know that we watched him on the stream.
Let's get dude's link in the chat real quick. Let me toss that.
I'm actually gonna follow him. That was a nice video.
All right. Well, people have come on in. I do want to introduce the folks who have joined us today. It is the DQUAD team takeover. And on camera, at least for me, I have 12-pack a day besides myself, Dan Z, and Jinx, who is on the team. We have 12-pack as well as Larsko. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Awesome.
I just want to thank you guys again for making time to hang out with us today, watch some videos. But before we kind of get into like who you guys are, where you're at in the country, how long you've been with DQUAD and all that good stuff, I want to thank the audience for making themselves available to watch. We're gonna watch some videos in a little bit. Just a reminder, if you're not part of the Discord, join the Discord. That's where you submit videos. We have a couple different channels in there, as well as some in real life events that are listed. If you're gonna make any of those events, it's a great way to link up with different people. 12-pack, are you going to any events this year?
Yeah, I'll do Rampage. I'll do IO and Castle Crash.
Oh, you're gonna do IO. Nice. That's like in my backyard. And you won IO last year, if I'm not mistaken, in the freestyle competition.
Yeah, I gotta defend my my spot.
Dude, winning it, like our dude over here kind of crushed it. You were locked in, my friend. It was really cool to see.
And you probably heard us. You probably heard us say this. I'm gonna gush over you a little bit, 12-pack. You probably heard us say this on the stream before, but because you fly high tilt, right? I think that it's easy to think, well, 12-pack flies high tilt, and that gives him an advantage in certain tricks, but it blocks off other tricks that are easier to do with low tilt.
One thing I think a lot of people don't realize is, it gives me an advantage, but it's a little bit like saying riding fakie on a snowboard gives you an advantage. You have to learn to fly 60 degrees. I flew 30, then I went to 45 for a year while I was doing 60 in the sim. It took me a while to adjust to be able to do everything. You know, it really messes with your roll yaw relationship. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that completely changes, and you have to you have to take the time to go from whatever, being comfortable, and you have to put yourself in an uncomfortable sort of thing again and get used to it all over again. So I feel like I did it for the advantages, and they're not really what people think too. A lot of people think it's easier to trippy spin. The trippy spin is just kind of like you lock it in or you don't. You can see more at 60 degrees, but if you don't have it, it's not going to make it like easier to do really, you know. It does make Matty flips and power loops. Like you see what's going on the entire time. Like when I do a power loop around something, I'm never having a spot where it's like only sky. I see that object like the entire time, you know? And so that's more, I guess, what I like, why I did it, you know, because I saw that the more I increased my tilt, the more I just kind of could drive right through like a power loop or a Matty flip.
Well, I love how at IO, right, because the way that competition was set up was that it required each of the contestants to do like required maneuvers around specific objects. And when Danzy said you blew it away, it was like, I think you were proving the point that it's like, it doesn't matter. I can fly any trick, any object, low tilt, high tilt. So kudos to you on proving that out. Going back, that's where the Discord server is at. It's a great place to participate and connect with other pilots. And I think that's from an announcement standpoint. That's all it is that we had to cover today. And I do want to just turn to Larsko. Larsko, tell us a little bit more about yourself. Where are you in the country, and how long have you been flying drones?
So I am in LA, California. I'm actually in a suburb, so I'm like main in the city, specifically Ventura County. And I've been flying since 2017. So it's been couple years, going on 5-6 years now. And I started with cinematic, where I was just doing just Mavic and stuff like that. And then I got into cinematic FPV because I wanted to be better at the Mavic flying. Because I thought that if I had more control of the drone, I could get better shots and whatnot. And that's where it completely took off for me, because then I fell in love with the hobby. And slowly I started getting more and more into freestyle. So I guess you could say the first half of my career was all cinematic. I didn't freestyle. I flew whoops for fun, and everybody knew me for my cinematic stuff. Everybody knew for car drifting. Everybody knew me for, different shots that I did. It was all cinema stuff, and I had my own show reel for that. And then over the last half of my career, I've kind of evolved into a freestyle pilot. And now I freestyle more than anything.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
The two go hand in hand too, don't they? Do
They
you
do.
find a lot of overlap? Yeah.
Yeah, I think racing is the same thing too, but I just have never really gotten into that sector of it, which I am hoping this year to flirt with the idea of starting to work. I actually built a tiny trainer to actually start working with that, and it's been fun. Figure, move on to the next thing.
Tiny trainers are super fun, man. I actually enjoy racing tiny trainers more than I've ever enjoyed racing a 5-inch drone.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about that form factor and weight, that I don't know. It's just super fun.
And we've never done this before, but Jinx, you just got on to the DQUAD team. I don't think we've ever really talked about you, but I'd love to treat you kind of as a guest, not to kind of put you on the spot, but tell us, let's start with, how long have you been on the DQUAD team now?
Oh, geez. I want to say about a month now.
Okay, so long time member of the team.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gee.
And how long have you been, tell us, I know your story, but the audience doesn't. Kind of, how long have you been flying drones, and what's the story there?
Right. So I started, just the shorter version of it is I started flying a Mavic in 2017, I think it was.
Okay.
And it wouldn't take off anywhere near my house because I live near an airport. So I had to drive 8 miles out just to fly it. And I had one battery, which is like 15 minutes. And for what the Mavic did, it was just so boring to me at first. Like, you can't do all sorts of crazy stuff. And I didn't know what FPV was at the time, but I ended
Why
up
did you buy
selling
it?
What?
Like, why? How did you think it was? Hey, this is a cool thing. I just want to see what it's all about.
You ever see those GoPro commercials where it's like people like running down a mountain and like skydiving and stuff, and you kind of figure somewhere in your head like, oh, if I buy a GoPro, I'm going to have adventures no matter where I go. And I still never.
If I buy a GoPro, I can do that.
That's what the Mavic was. I'm like, oh, these amazing shots. And it's like, I live in a very boring area.
Yeah.
It's not gonna,
The mountains didn't sprout up around you.
Yeah, I was a sucker, man. But I ended up buying another one after I got into FPV because I saw where that fit in what I wanted to do. But
Got it.
I had gotten started in FPV in 2019, and I had started a new job, and I worked next door to FCore, basically. And he was always zipping his drone around on his break, and I'm like, who's flying this? Like, why couldn't the man do that? And that's what I wanted to do. So I ended up getting to know him over time, and that's, it's been an adventure, and just all the people that I've met, you guys, Larsko, it was like my sensei, like as far as like, there was a point in time where I was talking about sponsorships and stuff. I'm like, oh man, it's a dream, but it's like, if I just fly, I don't care. Sponsorship is like icing on the cake. And he gave me this whole list of stuff, like, if this is what you want to do, and he gave me a lot of good advice. And so
the sauce. He gave
There's
you
a
the
list.
secret sauce.
There's a secret
Yeah, I want this list.
I know. DQUAD team only, I guess. No, that's amazing. which is a great kind of like segue.
And he's got the key too. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
No, you're
Moscow
not.
is very widely sponsored. I mean, he's got a lot of.
He's got them all.
He's got them all. Last year was.
It's worked out well for me.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I'm
That's
fortunate.
awesome.
you deserve it, man. I mean,
Thank you.
You
Oh,
guys are
yeah.
good people.
Which is a great kind of segue, right? So, 3 pilots, 3 different areas. Like we have Southeast, we got Midwest, we got Southwest, right? LA. How do you guys converge into DQUAD? How does that happen? Tell us more about DQUAD. I don't know much about DQUAD as a company, so
Okay.
but we want to definitely talk about them because they've assembled you guys.
So, if you guys don't mind me kind of taking over on that one. So,
Absolutely.
Jeff, which is the owner of DQUAD, took over the company a couple years back, and I guess he was just a fan of the frames and the company for a long time. And when he had a chance to purchase it, he did. And then his dream was to revive this company, right? Revive this brand. And so he started going around and just finding pilots. And he was, he found Cheese, he found me, found a couple people in the beginning, Lady FPV. And he started approaching us with, hey, I have this brand that I want to build, and I want to see if you guys want to be a part of it. And we started a chat, we started getting involved, we started bringing back old frames that didn't even exist anymore. And little by little, it grew into what you see it as today. And now he has this whole racers lineup, and he has a freestyle lineup. And we've become more than just a team. We have a chat where we talk together, and we've gotten very close. And although we're all on different sides of the country, we've come to really know each other very well. So that's my take on it. DQUAD wanted to just revive. And I think it really has. I think the right people are involved now to do that. There's newer faces like Jinx that are coming on board that I feel are going to take the brand to that next level that it needs to. I did my part. Cholpak has done his part. Now Jinx is coming in and doing his part. And that's, I think, what kind of makes DQUAD a little different than most of the companies is we're not just team pilots. We're involved. We're involved with new frames. We're involved with prototypes. We're involved with being at the table and having a say in what can come next. And so I think that's what kind of makes it, it brings us closer together a little bit.
I know that Jinx had some feedback from a day that we were flying, and he was flying a DQUAD frame. And I know that he provided feedback to the company, and then he was commenting to me and saying, hey, they were really receptive to that. It was really cool how quickly they enacted those kinds of changes and suggestions I had. So that's really cool. And, because we're focused on freestyle, right, on this particular live stream, if someone's new to DQUAD, what are some of the favorite frames that you guys like to fly, in terms of what are the areas of the website that they should be looking at, or what's going to help people for, I guess, 5-inch freestyle, just to be specific about it, maybe that's a question for, I don't know, it's up to you guys who answers that.
Well, Jinx has a lot to say about that, I think.
Yeah. Right now I'm flying the Perfection, which is an upcoming 5-inch freestyle build. And I was flying for 2 years. I was flying the LRX, and that's kind of out of commission now. They've moved on. It doesn't really handle digital as well, and the Perfection is just like expounded on that and made some changes that just suit the whole future of digital better. You know what I mean? Like the O3 unit, you can position the camera further forward. I mean, you can swap out just the arms. You don't have to buy a whole new frame, and you have a dead cat, basically, if you want. So it's, Jeff is really, from the month or so that I've been with DQUAD, he's been very receptive. I talk to him every day, and he's always asking questions. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? Like, you can really tell that he wants this to succeed, and he, you know, he does it because he loves it, you know. And I mean, like Larsko was saying, we've got the chat that we talk in, and it's like a family almost. I mean, it's like people are just active and they're, you know, participating, and it's not like, you know, dead space for a month, and you know, it's everybody's got their strengths in that group, and everybody's just been so welcoming, and it's been great.
That's awesome. I'm on the website. It doesn't sound like it's available yet.
Yeah, it's under construction because he's going to start selling the frames directly on the site now. So I'm doing the photography for the products, and a couple of the other guys are doing some photography and adding in little write-ups about the frames and stuff. So it's a work in progress, but it's going to be real great.
Nice.
Oh, I just heard a charger. I heard a charger boot up there a second ago.
12
that was a take
Stupid
on the company.
iPhone
You know, we revived kind of like these old frames, the Obsession, the LRX. But like Jinx was saying, a lot of it was outdated. In order to make the LRX digital compatible, we had to design prints in order to hold the Vistas and things like that. It wasn't native. And then with these new frames that are coming out, like the Fixation and the Perfection, they are the new face of DQUAD.
That's awesome. 12-pack, I guess, are you also testing out that Perfection frame, or?
Yeah, because you have
No,
a
I'm
very
kind of.
specific
I'm
setup.
like, where's mine?
Jeff.
I saw some of it from. I saw maybe one of the early prototypes from. Oh, why am I blanking right now? On camera and everything from.
I know Headmaster had it.
GenFan Mike.
Oh, Mike. Yeah.
From GenFan Mike. Yeah, I was trying to think of his actual name. That's why I was. But yeah, I saw it there. It looked pretty nice.
How did you link up with DQUAD, 12-pack?
I guess kind of through Larsko. I went out. I was out west when I first met you, and I went to an FPV meetup with Cheese and a whole bunch of people, and then we met up at Rampage and got to talking, and then shortly after that, I got a message from Jeff, and I am actually from Vermont. And Jeff is in Massachusetts, so we're actually pretty close. So I've gone down and flown his property a couple times, which is pretty nice FPV spot actually. So that was just, I guess that was my, and I flew the LRX, and then I have the micro LRX, which is an awesome 3-inch. That thing is indestructible.
Yeah.
And
Cheese and
know
I
that-
actually helped design that one.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
And I know that 12-pack is very. I've seen some of your posts, and you expect your equipment to perform day in, day out. It's in your FPV name. You know, you fly a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and
He
you're
pushes
tough on
his
the
stuff
rig.
hard.
You know, so I think if there's a, you know, if I have a tendency to think that if 12-pack is saying, hey, I kind of stand by this frame, you know, I think that that says a lot. I do, you know, you said something, Jinx, that I'm super curious about, and I know that a lot of the people who watch our live stream are interested in it as well. It's this the concept of sponsorship from FPV brands, and I don't want you to spill all the beans, Larsko, right? Because you mentioned you gotta
No
document.
list.
You don't gotta show us to talk about the list, right? But if that is, and there's a lot of people who watch our show who are sending in cinematic reels. They want to, you know, they're doing it on the side, but there's a level of, you know, I guess they're serious about this hobby, right? To varying degrees. But if sponsorship is something that someone wants to pursue, what would you say are like the 2 top things that they can do to help themselves achieve that goal? Since you made a list, right? Like, what kind of advice would you provide to that up and coming pilot who doesn't have sponsors yet but does want to be sponsored?
Are you talking to me or Jinx?
Oh, I'm talking to you, Larsko. You have the list. So.
You got the secret list here.
Yeah. What's the sage advice?
Well, I mean, obviously the obvious one is you got to be more than a just mediocre pilot, right? You got to have the skills. But I think that's where everybody falls short, where they only focus on that. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm a good pilot. I can trippy spin, I can matty, I can power loop, or whatever I can do. I should get sponsored, right? Well, the problem is we can all do that, right? So some of us do it better than others, but for the most part, everybody can do it. So I think that what really comes down to is being involved in the community and really getting yourself out there, right? Doing things like this. See, a lot of people want people to watch their videos, but you don't watch anybody else's videos. So why would you expect anybody to watch your videos, right?
Yeah,
so
100%.
Part of me being part of the community is I embed myself in everybody's videos. I mean, I talk to new guys. I watch people's, I take the time to watch their stuff and become fans of them because they're fans of mine. So I'm going to be fan of them. But I see that, I'll comment on people's videos and then I'll never get a comment on mine. And then I see that some of those people are just, it's like, look at me. But it's like, it's about the community. And when you can really harness the community, then all of a sudden these FPV companies start looking at you like, hey, everybody knows who this guy is. This guy is everywhere. This guy is on every page. This guy, they listen to him. And that's why people want to sponsor you. They don't want to sponsor you because you're good. They want to sponsor you because if you say that frame is good, or you say that prop is good, or that motor, or that radio, people will listen. And that's why people get sponsored, because they're an influence. And the only way you can be an influence is to be in the community. Not just posting videos, look at me, I'm good, but being in there, helping people, helping new guys. I don't know how to solder this. How do I do that? Taking 10, 15 minutes to talk to a new guy about how to solder. I mean, I've been doing that for years, and I know a lot of people because of it. And I think after a while, a lot of companies figured that out, that a lot of people trust me.
I think that's amazing advice. And especially, that is fantastic advice.
I told you, he's a sensei, man.
Okay, so that's number one. But I can, we were flying yesterday, right? And we have access for a very short time to this amazing spot. And that access was granted to us to a friend who watches the show. I don't know if he's watching right now, but Rex Snow. And Rex Snow has done such a great job of creating a relationship with the people who have control of this spot, who've been so welcoming and so nice to us. But it's 100% because Rex Snow created that relationship, and I just think that's a component of his personality. But we set up a flying session there yesterday, and it was a small group, right? So we've just been kind of in and out for different events, and I asked him, hey, can we just have like a smaller session where we just get to just relax and just see what the spot has to offer? And he said, yeah, and he sets it up. But one of the people who maintain the location, their kids show up, right? And the kids are like in their teens. And Rex Snow is like, we're all kind of sessioning, but Rex Snow takes the time and turns to them and goes, you guys want to learn how to fly, right? And he's got like one rig, right? And he puts them on the sticks. And he just, in that like 25 minutes, there's two boys, they're probably like 14 or 15. In that 15, 20 minutes, he imparted in them the bug, right?
Yeah.
Like they'd never touched or flown a drone before. And in that 15, 25 minutes, he like set them on a path, right? And I don't know if they're going to pursue it. I think one of them might, because he was really kind of into it. And the other one was like, oh, this is cool. But I didn't get that feeling. But I was like, dude, if that doesn't embody like what you just talked about of putting yourself out there and growing a community and having influence. And it's like, he influenced just those two young people who joined us just to check us out and what we were doing. but he also bettered the relationship that we had with the property and the folks who are maintaining it, because it's like,
Sure.
you know, those are the kids of the people, and it's like that gets around, and that provides us access, and that one spot has provided like some milestone moments for us this last Whoop season. So I think that, you know, I see it all day. I think that's sage advice. I'm glad I asked, and you know, if there's anything that the audience could take away from that, right? Like, I would just rewind on that and just listen to Larsko's advice, and we'll leave the rest for secrets. That maybe if you get it good with Larsko, he'll impart upon you. But having said that, why don't we start looking at some other people's videos? To your point,
Yeah,
Sure.
let's do that.
Let's do
All
it.
right, rock on. So,
And really quick, I just want to shout
ahead.
out, because we've had a couple people file in.
Yeah.
First of all, the sexiest blue wrench in the business, Quad Daddy, in the friggin' house. What's good, my friend? Good to
Quad
have
Daddy?
you, Quad Daddy. Night Train FPV, what's up?
Night Train.
Flexo, always great to have you here.
Hey, Flexo.
Prop Bender. Cheese is in the chat as well.
What's up, Cheese?
And the one and only Doom.
Doom Rider.
He's in the chat as well. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for joining us.
All right.
And yeah, let's do it, man. Let's see what people have been
Okay, so first off,
submitting.
You know, we do score live, and that is the strength of this particular live stream. It's not so much, it's the audience vote that's important. So if you can, on a phone or in a browser, if you go to menti.com, I'm going to do it with you so that I can get there. Menti, MENTI.com, and you hit go, and then it asks you for a code. The code is 16123306. Hit submit, and then you should see a question: are you ready to score the first video? If you go ahead and hit yes and hit submit, it'll let us know that you're out there and you're ready to rock. And given how many people, how about if I just get 4 people who say yes to it? We'll advance to the next slide. So let us know that you're ready to score some videos, and you know, we'll go from there.
Yeah. Ben Doom is asking where you're at.
I'm in Florida, St. Pete's.
St. Petersburg.
How?
You know-
Where's he? I can't see the chat.
I think
He's supposed to
up
be
in
in
Michigan
Florida
right
soon.
now, right? Yeah, I've been tuning into his daily motivationals there.
Oh yeah, me too.
Dude's trying to get himself right.
I love that. It's shaming me into wanting to be more active. Honestly, like, dude, it's a good thing, bro. Keep that up. Like, I notice, and it's inspiring me to get back on it, dude.
Yeah.
All right, I got 4 yeses. So let's
Austin
go ahead.
Inspired says he's with us all, but not. He's on the TV, which is the way these things are meant to be watched.
Yeah.
But he's not feeling well. Chicken noodle soup and super critical for him. And feel better, bro. I know you got kiddos and everything, so that's
Get well soon.
Yeah, man.
So before we go to the first video, I just want to make sure we say this every time, but I want to make sure that we're carving out time for it. So notes on the scoring. If you're in the audience, get on menti.com, use the code, play along. Like, the strength of this live stream is in pilots who submit getting a lot of feedback that they can take or leave. It's not meant to be harsh, it's meant to be constructive. So the more audience that's on the app, it's really easy to use, the better. We're scoring the video, not the pilot. And that's notes for everyone. Like, if you're the pilot and you don't get scores as good as you want, it's just because the video, like, is reflecting that, or that's how the audience is perceiving it. It has nothing to do with you as a person or even your abilities as a pilot. We can only look at the video, and we only look at 2.5 minutes. So keep that in mind. If you have additional comments, because we don't have it on the form anymore, if you have additional comments, hit those in the chat. Put like 3 or 4 asterisks in front of it so we can easily identify it. We're going to carve out time to make sure that we're reading those. And finally, if you submitted a video in the Discord, be like Larsko said and participate. You should definitely be scoring if you submitted a video. That's only fair. This is a free live stream. We only ask for participation. And honestly, I've been doing this live stream for over a year now. I've gotten better because I have like been critically looking. That is so sweet. I've been critically looking. See, your kid hugs you. My kid like just stands off the camera and just like stares. Like, it was very eerie. My wife was like, "You need to get away." He was just like right here. I was like, "Okay."
Just staring at you.
Yeah, it's making me very uncomfortable. All right, so let's get to the first video. The randomizer has chosen Zulu FPV, not a stranger to the stream. And let me get that loaded. All right. Wait. That is not the right one. Cancel that. Let me see here. Zulu, copy, and paste. There we go. Sabla Funky Session coming at you.
Let's do it. Zulu, one of the French boys. Man, he has this spot as his dojo. Like,
Yeah. He's not the only one who's flown this spot, though, right? You've seen
No.
a couple different pilots now.
I mean, they seem to have a pretty good scene.
Oh, yes.
That wall.
I like the creativity in that.
That's awesome.
You know?
That was, you can tell when we don't expect certain things. Looks great, though, too. The quality of the...
This is hip hop shit constructed all by design. Unsung be the heroes with the rapper Frankenstein. I'm taking aim at your brain.
Yes, I was wondering when he was going to go in there.
I penetrate your whole frame.
Yeah, you know, we've seen a couple videos from this spot, and we've never really seen what's in that section of the building. I'm
Go in
gonna
and look to
guess
the
that it's probably like a big empty warehouse. That might not have much interest in there, but
That's why the whole world revolves around material stress. I'm like a swift guillotine, cutting through the counterfeit, decapitating MCs that be talking bullshit. The fundamental difference between you and I, you and I'm poison like Coochie rapping cyanide. Let the drama slide black, you don't want beat, or you'll be deep 6 feet with earthworms around your teeth. Don't sleep.
Nice, Zulu.
nice.
Very
Just a little
nice.
bit shorter of an entry. Go ahead and score him. For those of you who are maybe new here, we use a very simple system. A 1 is that for the category it hurts the video. A 3 is that for that category it's helping the video, and 2 is neutral. So you don't have to score it against anything else, just how you feel. Pro pilots, noob pilots, just vote. That's what's important.
Yeah.
And votes are starting to roll in here. I gotta vote too. So definitely that.
I mean, I feel like a lot of us reacted to that wall ride to kind of Maddie flip combination. That's a type of creativity that I really like to see. I think one of the things that I'm kind of drawing for and wishing for when I've seen this video is that we had like a bigger line built, you know, a little bit less in terms of cuts.
Yeah.
I know that Zulu has a lot of skill. We've seen a few videos from him, and yeah, I don't know. I think you're definitely capable of putting together longer lines. I would have liked to have seen that here, but that wall ride to half Maddie flip is really nice. I would love to see you build on that and kind of create a longer line, either coming into it or out of it. Yeah. What DQUAD team? What do you guys see when you look at that? What like stuck out to you? Good, bad, whatever.
Personally, I kind of would have liked to have seen more of the spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it. I mean, that was some great flying.
Yeah, I have to agree
What
with
else
Jinx
there?
on that. If he could have flown, I don't know if there's more to that spot, but kind of just being all over the place. Sometimes it attracts the eye a little better than just trying to, you know, hit the same holes over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm. I think that's one thing to kind of also keep in mind. I mean, you know, all in all, we're making videos here in FPV, right? And we're trying to attract people's attention and keep them tuned in. And so having some variety and spice in there is really going to keep people locked in. So yeah, it's definitely something to kind of keep in mind when you go out and fly. And if you think you're going to put a video together out of what you're going to do, I think that's a good kind of strong point to keep in mind.
One thing I'll have to say is that although he did kind of concentrate his flying in that little section, it's a very tight holes that he was working with. And so the technicality behind not crashing and just hitting them over and over and half matties and power loops and gapping, I mean, that's pretty good flying.
Yeah, man.
Just
getting out to fly in general. Like, that's awesome. So he's already winning there. Don't get it twisted. He's already winning there.
So just looking at the audience vote, it looks like they agree with you, right? So in terms of areas of improvement, if we consider variety in using the spot, seeing more of it, that would be an area of improvement. The production quality of the video as well, were kind of the lower scoring aspects in terms of categories. But in terms of intentionality as well as originality, the audience definitely appreciated that. So just some feedback for you there, Zulu. On this category sheet, your average score is a 2.2. And then I flipped over to the JinxFPV point. And for those of you unaware, would you watch it again? Would you tell a friend to watch it? I think that's the greatest indicator of whether or not you were feeling it, regardless of how well it scored. And, you know, while we have folks fill out the JinxFPV point, I'm just going to turn over to the live chat to see if there's anyone who's commented on this.
I will say this. I mean, Zulu's been submitting to us for a while, and Zulu's a talented pilot for sure. The wall ride to half Maddie thing was sick.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
We all reacted to it.
But, like, you know, like, bit of tough love, I'm like, this isn't the best thing that I've seen come out of you, my dude. I know you're super capable. You know, and like sometimes we go out and we throw a video together because we kind of feel like maybe we need to or whatever for the YouTube and the algorithm, whatnot. But like, yeah, I don't know, man. I like keep pushing yourself, which is something that you've always been doing. But yeah.
JinxFPV is not this time, so I think this total score is a 2. What did I say on the last one? 2.2? 2.1.
I don't quite remember.
Trying to make go back. Oh, different computer. Here we go. It was a 2.2. So your score is a 2.2 this time, Zulu. Thank you very much for submitting. It's always good to see your stuff. All right, if you're out there in Mentee world, go ahead and hit the yes that you're ready to see the next video while I cue it up.
You know, Larsko, I meant to ask you. We were talking about getting out flying. Are you getting out flying out there, or are you having a lot of snow?
No, I haven't had much snow. We've had a lot of rain.
Okay.
I heard that.
And with what's going on with my company and whatnot, I've been kind of tied up mentally, and it's been a little exhausting, so I haven't been flying as much. But the rain has been a factor as well.
Okay.
I was supposed to go out this last Sunday, and I was ready to do it, and then I woke up to rain. So anywhere we wanted to go was just drenched. So I ended up not flying.
Yeah.
I'm curious, with you guys, when you're looking at FPV videos, what kinds of things stick out to you on the pilot? Like, are you solely looking at the flight skills, or is there kind of something outside of that also draws you in?
For me personally, it's like a mix between... What's up, Fuse? For me, it's a mix between the music and the presentation more than the actual flying skill. Like, there are people who who could be like 5-6 months into FPV and very new. If they have like the right song or something that just, you know, like Dan says, tingles you dingles, it's, you know, if the colors and the grading looks good, I mean, that trumps all to me.
I agree.
I personally look for smoothness. That's my biggest factor when I'm looking at a video. What attracts me. When I see the jitters, it kind of throws me off a little bit. It may be great and it may be an incredible move, but if it's kind of wonky, it kind of takes away from it a little bit. I like to see the moves together with the smoothness, and then that, to me, that really tells the caliber of your flying, the control.
What about you, 12-pack? What do you think?
I don't care about any of that stuff really. Like I could care less for production quality. I'm like a old school skateboarder, man. If you did something cool and I recognize the skill that it takes to pull that off, and that's really all I care about. Like I post my DVR from DJI and I don't give a shit about it. You know, it's like I'm not rushing out to buy the next GoPro and smash that thing. I'm out to fly and have fun. The video is a byproduct of me flying and having fun. And if people enjoy it, that's fine. If they don't, I don't care either, because I'm out there flying to have fun. And
I mean,
so
that's what it's really about.
I love it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell
Fly for
yeah.
you, not anybody else.
It's a broad audience, right? And I think that's something key to you know, I think you just have to be aware, right? If you're making videos, like if you're flying FPV and you're making videos, you got to be aware that there's a pretty broad spectrum in terms of what people care about. This is a great question.
Yeah.
And we've seen that, in all other responses here. So hell yeah.
All right.
You got half people that like the one-liners, and you got half people that love the cuts. You know,
stick cam and all sorts of things.
Stick
right?
cam versus not. Yeah. Everybody has their own preference.
An interesting edit too. That's another thing. Like you can get creative in your edits, and I like to see that too. You know, because it's sometimes I make a video just because I enjoy the edit too. Like the process of picking a song, going through your flight footage for the day, and it's again, a lot of it's for me, honestly, and you know, I'm definitely going to put it out there because you're proud of your project. But in the end, it's sort of like, you know, I'm doing it more because I want to do it than that I need it to be seen or whatever, you know.
But I have to say, 12-pack, and I've gotten this impression from your videos, and I think you and I kind of share this, where I feel like the music you pick for your videos sets kind of like the mood on how you were when you were flying, or what you're right. I mean, that's how it is with me. Any song that I pick is, I'm telling a story. That's my mood. You know, am I pumped? Am I sad? Am I happy, excited, whatever? Those songs that I pick tell a story. And I kind of noticed that from your videos. It's almost like you specifically pick songs and they set the mood of your video. I figure you're projecting your mood.
Yeah, and I enjoy, that's a part of the editing, I guess, that I enjoy that, of like, you know, going through my song library, matching it up to a song. Sometimes you pick a couple and try it over, you know, so it's sort of neat to see like, oh, what if you put it to a fast song, or then you put it to a slow song, and how that like changes the vibe of the video, you know. And like I enjoy that process. So sometimes there are videos I've made that they're not really the best, but I'll still put them out there because I enjoyed the flying and I enjoyed the process of making the video. Not everything you make is going to be a banger, you know. Sometimes you gotta
I agree with that. I put it all out there, whether it's amazing or not. I put it out there. Because it's my post. It's what I did this week. Maybe it's amazing, maybe it's not, but it was my flying.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Austin Inspired, he popped into the chat, and I might need you to expand on this question he's asking. He said, "Okay, I had to come back for this. Can one pilot swap and please all audiences, though, or should you pick your poison and stick with it?"
Can I take a stab at that one?
Yeah.
Given what we've heard today, right?
Yeah.
We all know that you can't please everybody all the time.
Absolutely not.
Right. It's just impossible.
Yep.
But I think that taking a little bit of Larsco's wisdom, right, and what we see the broadness of what appeals to everyone. I think you have to decide what you're trying to do. If you're trying to have a good time for yourself, that's going to influence whether or not you post at all. And if the posting, for one of my basic kind of like what you should do has always been, hey, post, because let the community find you, and you got to find your community. I've actually shifted on that a little bit, right? But I think that what dictates is you got to decide what you want to do for the hobby and what you want the hobby to do for you. That would be my answer to Austin. But I'd love to hear what you guys have to say.
I think you just do what you enjoy, but at the same time, you're always looking to improve yourself. So it's like, I think with any art, it's like you have your vision, and then you have what you actually produce, and you constantly work and struggle to get what you produce to be your vision. And I don't think they ever truly meet, but that's the beauty of the journey or the struggle, is that you just work as hard as you can to, and you see stuff in other pilots you like, and you sort of try and figure that out and wrap it into like what you're doing. It's all, I think you go from enjoyment and what you really, the more you do it, the more you're going to have like another goal you want to reach, and another one and another one, and you just keep pursuing them,
I'd like to expand on what 12-Pack said. He said it pretty bluntly, and he's right. He's being him. And I think that's, every pilot has to be them. Stop trying to fly like this person or fly like that person, because it's not going to work for you. You have to fly like you. So whatever works for you, whether you're cinematic or flippy floppy or whatever it is you like and what makes you happy, I think that's where you're going to shine. If you're trying to do tricks because somebody else did that trick and you think that's a cool trick to do, it's not going to flow. You're just going to be trying to do a trick. But if you fly, I get teased a lot because I do a lot of left turns, and I've actually taken a stab at it and gone as far and called myself left turn Larsko. And I poke fun at it. Because I'm like, when I get in the flow, I'm not thinking about right or left turns. I just do what I do, and I don't care, because I'm flowing, I'm doing my thing. And recently I've 50-50 with the right turns and the left turns, because I'm working on myself, like 12-Pack said. I said to myself, you know what? Yeah, I turned left. People love it, and I'm going to keep doing what I do, because that's what I do. And maybe that works for me, maybe it doesn't work for you, but it works for me.
So Austin in the chat, so he did provide a little bit of a clarifier. He said, you're saying there's multiple audiences.
Oh yeah.
So what I'm saying is, today can I post a Phantom style 1-pack banger? Then tomorrow can I post a Bubby flow style video? Then a Spang video the next day, and please everyone, or should I stay with one? And I think, like from my perspective, I think what you got to do is stay true to yourself. And I think that, like, if that's what you want to do, like if you want to be like, I want to do a 1-pack Phantom style, I want to do a Bubby style video, and then I want to do Spang because like that's what makes this hobby interesting for me, then like that's what you should chase, I think overall, just in anything, just kind of staying true to yourself and chasing that is kind of the best form that you could take.
Can I so I agree with that 100%, Dan. And I think the other side of that is that if you, and I'm not talking to you, Austin, if a pilot is really trying, if your goal like is to get known, right? You have to embrace that part of you, that's what you want, right? Like that's okay. Like if like you want people to know you're the best, right, on the sticks in this crazy niche hobby we have, and to not shy away from that. But if you embrace that I think that it's not necessarily going to be a path of I need to do a little bit of spang one day, a little bit of one pack one day, a little bit of cinematic one day. Because if you do that, it's really hard to get good at like spang.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get good at cinematic. Like if you want the majority to appreciate you, if that's really the goal, you kind of have to pick and focus, because we can see it on our own live stream. That was a banger video from Zulu, and if he put that out 2 years ago, everyone would be like, who the fuck is Zulu, right? But you fast forward 2 years and it's like, yeah, there's some great moments in this, but there's also some areas of improvement. I mean, like, everyone's leveling up super fast. So I think there's one side of it which is like, do what you love and enjoy it. The other side is be true to what you want, right? Like, and I think that's a beauty of this hobby, is it can kind of expose yourself to yourself.
Yeah, be you.
And that's sometimes hard, you know. That's for sure. Having said that, great conversation. Can we watch another one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So this the randomizer has chosen Spider Sugar FPV.
Oh, Spider Sugar, nice.
This
I also want to just shout out a few more people that have jumped into the chat. Starkey FPV, our good friend Fuse has jumped into the chat. Brock Lee just joined. What's up, my dude? Night Train.
Night Train.
And Carbon Cage, all the way from the Upside Down.
What up, Carbon Cage?
They've joined us as well. Always good having you guys. We really appreciate it.
All right.
Spider Sugar. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so this one's for scoring. If you have any comments, hit.
This is my drone.
What is going on?
It's illegal now. That's why I gotta hide my face. But I don't care. I want to fucking fly.
Now.
We're underground. We're underground. Just to fly. But this is the way. This is the future.
Nice.
That's a Colorado pilot. I remember.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hello and greetings from my work truck out here in Nevada. What's this little guy? What's this cool little guy?
Do we have I mean, as much as I love, like, Spider Sugar has a thing going on. Like, he's got a personality with the vlog and everything, and he's got like his flavor, right? As you can tell with the intro.
For real though, this shit is so fucking
But do we have a timestamp for the freestyle?
No. No.
Okay.
Timestamp your things. We only watched 2.5 minutes. So,
gotta get you a 3.5.
although the intro was worth it.
The intro was good.
Let us know.
I enjoy Spider Sugar's videos.
And that my friend John Goblin.
But this is a little bit more of a blog style video.
Parts list. So I can't take 100% credit for this, obviously, but the 03 air unit is a fucking game changer, and for micros, because you don't need a camera on it or anything like that.
Ben, are you on the 03?
Yeah, all the flight footage is going to be.
Are you planning on going to the 03? I know you post DVR, so that's like a natural place that you could upgrade your image quality.
Fucking sucks.
If you wanted
Short and
to.
sweet, let's fucking rip this thing. What? Hell yeah. Alright, let's go.
Alright, here we go. Oh my. Where are we at in the time?
2:22.
2:22. Let's give him some time here.
Alright.
Fuck the law, they can eat my dick, that's word of pimp. Word of pimp. Word of pimp. Hold up. Oh my. You are now listening to Round of Yours. Fuck the law, they can eat my dick, that's word of pimp. I don't fuck with to talk like all these fucking imps. Stop hollering. Give a fuck if you deny it, kids. You can all run naked backwards to appeal to
So I see something that I'm even working on myself, and that is like with these power loops. I mean, there's multiple ways to do them, and not that like doing the like throttle to fling, you know, where you do like the throttle to throttle chop on your power loops is like bad. But I find that when I watch videos, the ones that I find really satisfying, the people are riding their throttle through on the power loop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how I like power loops.
Yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of really big power loops here, and like I think going forward, like as you want to push yourself, like try starting to really tighten up those power loops and riding the throttle a bit more. Like the idea is to not chop throttle to 0 when you're in your power loop. I think that'll just like really tighten things up and make it feel more impressive.
All right, so we watched a good chunk of that video. Go ahead and give Spider Sugar your feedback in Menti. If you have comments, throw some asterisks in front of it in the YouTube chat. We'll be able to quickly find them. Danzy, just on your comment, I think it was the one Stinger Swarm rotor riot video that taught everyone how to power loop, where like that was exactly how he did it, which was like come up to the thing, full throttle, chop throttle, you're cruising, and it gives you like a very like not it like shoots you back, right? So
Yeah, it's like a snap into it.
And I think what you're saying is, and what I believe and agree with, is that the way that we do that, fast forward 3 years, right, into the future, here we are, is that people, for those really beautiful power loops now, is that you're throttling all the way through, and that's what forces the circle, rather than like throttling here and firing yourself back, which is another aesthetic choice. But it's really important to know that, hey, one is giving you a certain look and the other one is giving you a certain look.
I guess, yeah, I should qualify it, because like there are certain power loops that you do kind of have to kind of huck yourself back that way and throttle chop, right? I think it's more about actually keeping that proximity to the object that you're power looping that really kind of makes it feel more impressive, especially if you're power looping over like an open air object, right? Like if you could go to the moon and back on the power loop, then it's like it doesn't feel as impressive, you know?
I think 12-Pack wanted to get in on this one. 12-Pack, did you want to say something? Uh-oh. 12-Pack, can you hear me? Oh, now you're muted. Well, 12-Pack, if you want to comment, just looking at how the audience has scored, production quality of the video is at 2.8, so strong there. I think you're developing a real personality. Danzy has commented on that. In terms of the areas of...
I got you.
Yeah. What's 12-Pack, did you have a comment on this one? Uh-oh. You're frozen. Let me know. Just chime in, break in. Looks like the difficulty and variety were the categories. So production high up, difficulty and variety are the areas where you might want to look at improving. Hey, and it just occurred to me right now. Drib was really great about when, kind of a couple years back, he had a really great vlog going. And that was one thing that he used to do on his channel, was he would do his vlogs, and it would have flight footage, but it would also give us like slice of life, and it was interesting to watch.
Yeah.
But he would also do a very focused edit. And I don't know if you do that on your channel or not, Spider Sugar, but it's something we're thinking about, because again, it's kind of the running theme is like there's different audiences, and some people aren't interested in the vlogs so much. I'm one of them. I don't watch a lot of vlogs, period. And so, I tend to watch more flight footage. So that's my team DQUAD.
Like vlogs.
What do you guys think? Do you agree with the score, the audience scores, or do you have a dissenting opinion?
No, I mean I agree.
Right.
I liked how he started. It was a little different. It caught my attention.
Yeah.
I just felt like the intro was a little too long because he caught my attention and I was ready for the flight, and then it went into his logo intro, and it kind of took a while to get into the flying.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I agree with that, and I will say this is just kind of again like a qualifier to kind of some of the feedback given about his flying. I'm seeing a lot of stuff where he's sorry, did I just accidentally
Maybe.
did I bump us off of the air?
Did you? Looks like we're still on here.
Looks like we're still on.
Yeah.
Okay. Really weird because I all of a sudden cannot find my window for our stream.
It's showing us is still live, so
I'm
There we
on
go.
my phone also, and I see us.
Okay. Anyway. All right. We're back.
Flexo
We're good. We're
Flexo
good.
says we're good.
We're still here.
We're real pro over here.
There's a lot of things that I am seeing, right? Like he's going through, he's tossing himself backwards. He's got that comfort, right? Like when you're a new pilot, like you're hucking yourself into situations and like stuff's wily because you're not really comfortable with knowing the steps yet. But I see Spider Sugar is like hucking himself and he's knowing like I've got time to do inverted yaw. I can kind of I can do a roll within this power loop. I can do these sorts of things. Like he's really building on his skills. So like I think that's a really great thing that you've got going on there. And then you also have your kind of vlog style thing and your personality that shines through. Like Larsko was saying, you know, you opened up with like a really interesting, like, you know, I don't know if it was like meant to be from the future, masked up situation, you know, flying your illegal drone. But like, yeah, it's really fun, like really funny and a good vibe.
So on the categories page, you're at an average score of 1.9 across the categories. We'll do JinxFPV point. If you have any comments specifically for this video that you'd like to impart upon Spider Sugar, hit some asterisks up at the beginning so we can easily find them in the chat. And we'll wait for the JinxFPV point to roll on in. And while we do that, 12-pack, if you can get back on, love to have you back. Not sure if there was an internet issue, but let us know if there's anything that we could do to get you back on. If not, thanks for joining. We'll see you at Rampage, buddy. I got a seat by my fire. We'll be over there. Flexo asks, that's it. Where is the stream score sheet? If you go to menti, menti.com, and put in the code 16123306, you will be able to participate in the category and JinxFPV point scoring. It doesn't look like the JinxFPV point is in your favor this time, so you're at a 1.9. Not a bad score. Looking forward to seeing the next one, bud. Thank you very much for participating. And if you're ready to see the next video, go ahead and click yes on the menti.com app, and we will go ahead and move on. I'm excited for the next one.
What do we got next?
All right. So let me just get four people on the menti.com. Say yes. You're back.
There he is.
I had issues with my phone battery and having the headphones plugged in at the same time, but
Okay.
I think I solved it. I got an inductive charger on the phone, so.
All right. So up next we have A local. This is Mando. Is it Mando X Squid or Mandox Squid? Does anyone know? Okay, I'm gonna go with Mando X Squid.
That's how I read it. Brad, I don't hear any audio from you if you are chatting.
But it doesn't look like Airtime has you muted either. Now you're muted.
Now, am I good?
Yeah, I can hear you. So what is it?
So weird.
Refresh live.
Is it Mando X or Mandox?
Mandox, I think.
Mandox.
Okay.
All right.
This is F-Core's new protege.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so this one's called Office Park Fun, 6 months of FPV freestyle. Let's go.
I see a lot of good stuff coming from him.
Strong in the force, this one.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it.
Does anyone know what HD camera he's using? The Action 2?
Man, when I see someone like flying this well at 6 months in,
Hungry.
it like makes me mad sometimes.
Wait, now did he go for that stairwell too?
He did, yeah.
I think he, yeah.
He
Only
was
6
super
months
close.
in, huh?
Over 6 months in.
That's damn impressive.
There it is.
There we go.
I think it took me a year to fly acro.
Dude. I mean, I feel like I flew for 2 years, really, before I was able to, like, actually start building on something, you know?
I think a lot of it is
Nice.
developing
That was
the
nice.
eye, just being able to see lines and being able to see the gaps. I think that's one of the things I had the hardest time with for the first 2 years. I think he's seeing these things.
He flies a lot with F-Core, and I think that's only a good thing, you know?
Yeah.
That's of course.
If you got no time, work smarter than ever. Don't ever let them tell you that you can never say never, and turn your mind into the truest to go getters. Never stop, get it if I want it. Gotta make to
Man, I mean, what I'm seeing here is a really good foundation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He seems to be really smooth on the sticks. You know, I mean, like, obviously there could be some corrections made, right? But he seems to be pretty smooth on the sticks. He has...
I mean,
Oh! He's got, like, a good idea of how to build lines. Yeah.
All right, so that's the video. If you are in the Menti.com app, and I hope you are, go ahead and score that for my man Mandox Squid. And we'll see. I guess everyone was kind of riveted by that one. It's a great spot. That's a local Chicago spot, so.
Yeah.
You really had my attention that whole video. I
Yeah.
was really looking forward
Yeah.
to whatever was coming next. It was a nice flow.
Do you think the fact that knowing that he was like 6 months in added to that, or do you think that was a non-factor?
I think it added to it. I was
Yeah.
impressed. I was impressed as it was, but knowing it was 6 months in, just to kind of see him keep doing it over and over, and kind of like what I said earlier, kind of being all over the spot, not just really focusing on one little area, that made it interesting for me.
Yeah, he really covered that spot too, really well. Like, I've only been there
wasn't
once,
any
but
areas.
I can't think of another area. Maybe those trucks in the back or something. But he covered it.
I think that if you're not familiar with the spot, everything that we saw in the video was covered. Like, there's definitely other areas, but they're harder to get to. But I think when we say covering a spot, Mandox is, in the video itself, are we seeing things that are very tempting looking for the audience, but the pilot never goes to? And I don't think that happened here. I think you flew more than we saw because you go into the parking garage, so it was very satisfying from that point. One of the worst things is when we see something in a video and the pilot doesn't go over to it. It's like, oh no, go over there. Like, let's look at that. From the category standpoint, intentional, dude, you look locked and dialed. You look like you know what you're doing on the sticks. It hurts my feelings a little bit. From categories and also your speed, you were hauling. It is obvious, and you were close, so you're gaining all the speed from proximity. I guess, and I agree. I have originality is the category where I think you may want to focus, and that's a tough one, right? Like, how do you set yourself apart? But I'd really wonder, DQUAD team, do you agree with what the broader audience thinks? That intentionality looks good, but originality is maybe the area for focus for Mandox.
Yeah, I would have said that, but he's been flying 6 months, so I'd almost just be like, it's going to come for him. He's just going to keep flying, and he'll get awesome. There. So I mean, I would have said like a similar way. I would have phrased it maybe a little more variety of like the kind of tricks. He was kind of doing the same sort of moves, like not entirely, but at 6 months, I mean, I wouldn't have nitpicked it on that time frame. It'll come for him. So.
It's a great comment.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
Yeah, it's something that develops.
All right.
I mean, I wasn't
Good
flying
stuff,
like that 6
man.
months, period. So.
Oh no,
Yeah.
100%.
I was
definitely jelly.
not flying like that at 6 months. Then again, I didn't have
kudos, my
F4
friend.
as a flying buddy at 6 months.
Yeah. So you're doing all the right things, Mandox, Squid. You scored a 2.4 on the categories. Well, Je ne sais quoi point now. So go ahead and if you're feeling it, if you'd watch it again, if you tell your buddy about it, go ahead and hit the vote for it, a yes. Otherwise, it's a no. And if you have any comments, I see Fly High FPVs in the chat. If you have any comments for Mandox Squid, go ahead and hit some asterisks in front of your comments so we can easily find them. Fly High FPV says it's dab time, but I don't think that has anything to do with the.
It's dab time.
What up, Fly High?
And Austin Spire said, I've gotten substantially better in my last 6 months, and he's better than I was at 6 months. So great comment from Austin Inspired. Also, someone who's not, super long in the hobby. So, but is making waves for sure. Looks like it's a Je ne sais quoi point. Yes. So that adds the 0.1, giving you a total score of 2.5. Mandox Squid. Nice job. 6 months
is
in.
That Mando's first time?
I'm pretty sure it is, dude.
Yeah, man. That's great, dude.
That's incredible. All right. So we are going to, if you're ready to score the next video in the Menti.com app, please select yes. Let us know you're out there. I'm geeked about the next one. It's been a little bit of time since we've seen something from this person. Fly High is asking who's coming to Barbecue Bando this weekend. Where is Barbecue Bando? I know nothing.
I'm going.
Is that
Georgia with Team Drone Adventures?
Team Drone Adventures. Yep.
Is that at the hospital?
No.
Caraway? No? Okay, somewhere else.
It's at like it looks like it's, I don't know the exact name of the spot, but there's like a little village, and it's sort of like it's made for events and stuff, like there's like they have other events there or something like that. That's what it looks like from the videos I've seen.
Okay.
All right. So video for Remco's FPV has been selected by the randomizer. This one's called Third Time's a Charm.
Oh, Remco's.
Nice. Local to you, Larsko, if I'm not mistaken.
We've been talking about flying together for a while.
Nice guys. I had a chance when I was out there.
Balkanex, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a ripper. Holy shit.
We need to get together.
Yeah, Balkanex. one of my teammates, and dude, I've been watching for a minute.
Almost.
I was really feeling the super chilled out vibe with the music and get in there. Oh, got the double. Get the double.
It's going back.
He's going for it. Yeah, get the double. Yes, sir.
There you are.
Yeah.
That's satisfying.
Third time's a charm.
I like seeing that in videos too. When you see the process,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Not
get it
everything's
every
always
time,
perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. Yes.
I have a feeling the rest of this one pack is going to be pretty flawless, to be honest with you.
He definitely loves the one-liners.
Yes.
It's such an interesting building. It's pink. It's like there's gaps. It's cool, man.
I see some of those places you fly, Larsko. You guys got some nice spots out there.
Thank you. We have to hunt them down.
Yeah.
I'd like to have
There's-
more, but
Do you find
There's that-
yourselves like losing spots more and more? Or, like, 'cause out here, I know like Dan and some other people, myself too. Like we kind of lament the
loss of a
loss
spot.
of some of these spots. And I mean, we get new ones, but I don't know how often they get shut down by you.
so we don't really have like bandos or things like that we're able to fly, because as soon as something's abandoned, they just tear it down and put a fence around it. So we tend to pick structures like this and buildings like this, and we try not to fly them often. Maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 months, so that way we don't burn them.
Yeah.
I've noticed that most spots get burned because people just go to them all the time. And
Yeah.
then once they start flying the same place all the time, that's where it starts attracting the wrong attention.
It's so tempting though. When you get a good spot, you just want to fly it all the time.
And it's also tough because when you have a community of people that you're flying with, like in the Chicagoland area, we're trying to build that community, and so when we get a spot, we don't really want to be what's the word I'm looking for? We don't want to
Protective?
be yeah, protective, whatever. We don't really want to deny people too much, and be there's a word I'm searching for that I'm not able to grasp right now.
Spot hog?
Obsessive? Oh no.
No.
Ownership. Possessive. I don't know.
Yeah, possessive, maybe.
Anyway.
Territorial.
Territorial, anyway.
Like
whatever.
you own
It's
the
just-
spot.
Yeah,
own the spot.
yeah. Because we want everybody to share it, and we don't want anyone to feel left out. But you're 100% right. We've definitely burned spots because we were utilizing them too often.
Yeah, we've lost a number of spots that way here in SoCal, where we'd fly them often, and then everybody kind of get curious and say, "Hey, I think I know where that is," and people would just kind of show up, post up, be there all day long, maybe go during the week instead of the weekend like we normally do. The next thing we know, they got to fly it, but now nobody can fly it,
Yeah.
and so we all lose.
Well, like Flexo says, he says Bogart the spot.
Bogart the spot, yeah.
That's why I come to Florida so much, is because, man, it's like there's so many spots to fly, and people we've had security guards come over and check us out and be like, "Hey, you guys are good." Plenty of times, more so than I've flown in a lot of states, and Florida seems to be very welcoming to FPV compared to most states, I would say.
I have to agree. Florida's the Mecca. It's just, yeah, I agree. All right, so Look at the categories. Votes are rolling in. Great flight. I really enjoyed watching that.
Yeah.
Speed is a strength for you, Remcos. You were hauling. It was apparent. You fly close to things. Lots to look at. Very fast. And I think, when we say that 2 is neutral, right? Our scoring system doesn't require anyone to take the video and compare it to something else. It's everything in relation to itself. Is like, is this category appropriate? So these are all neutral: variety, originality, and production quality of video. Variety and originality. I have me personally, I have a hard time with variety. Production quality of video, like the scoring that we see, but it looks like originality kind of weighed in. It is tough to make a video that stands out. I would like to toss it over to the DQUAD team. Do you agree with the general scoring of this, or do you disagree? What do you think?
I mean, when it comes to Remco's, I love his speed. It's always fast. I like to fly fast. But the one thing I definitely always like about his flying is I never really know where he's going. He's unpredictable, and that's what keeps me intrigued.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. 12-pack?
I really liked that he had like a good long line in there. He had the 3 times a charm. I like that, where it was like, you kind of got to see it wasn't that easy, and it took him a couple times, and then he nailed it. He had some real, like Larsko said, he had some real original stuff where it was just like you didn't quite know what was going to happen next, but it was nice. It was it still flowed, but it kept you guessing. I really liked it.
Nice.
I like that he biffed a tree in one part and he kept it in and just kept going, and I kind of like that. I mean,
but did Remco's there was 3 times the charm is the name of the video. 3 times the charm is the name of the video. It took him 3 attempts to get the double gap. But then was the rest of the pack flawless? No, he hit the tree.
It was pretty.
Yeah.
He did hit a tree. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was.
But it
really
didn't
good.
stop him. He just kept moving
stop
through
him at
it,
all.
which is what I like
Kept
about his
kept
flying.
going.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. So
I don't think he plans out where he's going. I think he just is like he just takes opportunity for whatever comes next, and he seizes it.
Yeah.
Makes it interesting.
Nice. All right. So 2.2 on the video for categories slide, and we'll go to the JinxFPV point. If you have any comments for Remcos, let us know. Bogart. Yeah, now I'm obsessing over what that word is. I know the word that you're talking about. All right, so what was it on the
Exclusive.
Exclusive.
Yeah, we're not trying to be exclusive, I
think Franco had a different word in mind.
Yeah, I had a different
He's
word
trying
in
to
mind.
figure out what it is.
We don't hide our spots. We just don't announce them.
I'm not trying to be a cunt, basically.
I don't really have my own spots because I travel so much, but I've definitely been at spots where people told me I had to wait to post them. Only a couple times, but they didn't want. Yeah, they didn't want the spot. Yeah, they didn't want the spot known that I was in that area, and then I'm posting a spot, and so people are gonna know essentially that it's in that area, But
that makes sense. I get it. That's how the mall in Milwaukee was too. I think they didn't want anybody posting about that spot for the longest time.
Yeah, but it's not like FPV is what got that spot shut down.
Right.
It was Pyromaniac that got that spot shut down.
Awesome Inspired says this Remcos video is sick as fuck. And I am Eddie Ya says gatekeeper. That's not the word that I was thinking. It is appropriate, but there's a word and I just can't think of it. I think it starts with the letter O. All right, so JinxFPV amongst 2, where's my audience at? Amongst 2 is saying yes, so that gives Remcos a total score of 2.3. Remcos, good to see you again. Good to see that you're still flying and posting. If you're ready to see the next video, go ahead and click yes. This is this next one is by Interesting Pilot. So go ahead and click yes in the Mentimeter. Let me know that you're out there and that you're ready to watch the next video.
Interesting Pilot, you say?
Yes. Interesting.
You may, I can't tell if you're saying it in a bad way or a good way.
It's a good way.
Oh, okay.
It's a good way. Anyone else in the Menti app? All right, I'm gonna send it. So this one's called Smoothie Smooth by Delta Kana. It's a first time FPV freestyle uncut 1-pack.
Oh, look at the Bubby spoiler. Good lord.
Interesting because we've never seen anything from Delta Kana before.
I look at the snow and like to me I would not go out and fly that day. But I probably should, you
That's
know.
what happens after 4 years, man.
Shit.
I respect anyone flying in the snow. If it drops to like 50, I'm not flying.
Really? Oh, dude. Anything north, like once we start getting in the 40s, then I'm like, okay, it's time. It's time
like
to start
mid-40s.
getting out there.
45. If it's 45 and up.
45 and up. But yeah, in the 40s, I'm like, okay, I'm going out and I'm flying, but I'm not really pushing myself. That's basically, I'm like just trying to go back and, you know, get the dust off.
I remember the exact day that I stopped flying in the snow. We had like 2 feet on the ground and I crashed in it. And like, I'm so out of shape. I like trying to like trudge through 2 feet of snow in the middle of a field. Like, I was so winded by the time I got back from the high knees I had to do. I was like, nah, I can't. I'm going home now. Quad was fine. Found it. It was no problem, but it was exhausting.
The little bit of snow flying I've done, it wasn't even a lot of snow, and I crashed in the one little patch of snow that there was and smoked the motor. But I pretty much don't. Oh, I like that.
Little TikTok.
Yeah.
Tick, tick, tick.
So I think one of the comments that we typically give a lot on here is about flying low.
Yeah.
And like, even though this is like a really big, wide open spot, you have a lot of like clusters of trees and posts and whatever. So if you were to even just fly in a straight line and arrange it in a way so that you're like hitting a lot of like proximity by trees that are whipping past you, it'd be really interesting to see. Oh, Delta Kana Brewing Company.
All right.
Interesting.
See, told you. Interesting. All right. If you're in the Menti app, and I hope you are, go ahead and go score Delta Kana. It is Delta Kana's first submission to the live stream. I'm curious, Team DQUAD, if you're looking at that video and Delta Kana is your friend who you got into the hobby and they're like, hey, what do you think about this video? What kind of feedback would you give him?
I tell him to keep it low because he has a lot of spacing in between those trees. And the problem is the higher you get, the slower your flying looks. So you could be flying at the same speed, but if you keep it low and you see that ground whipping, it becomes more interesting from one tree to another than to, well, I'm kind of itching over to the next tree and then let me split S over it. So that's how you kind of give yourself a little bit of something to look at between one, you know, those big gaps in between your whatever you're flying. You're hitting this object to that object.
Larsko is the wisest man in the universe.
This is exactly the thing we've been preaching for the past year.
I love what you're saying, so I don't have to say it. Not that Delta Connor might have heard it, but it's a good advice. Go into the Discord server under audience tips and tricks. I literally have a video that's like a minute and a half long, that demonstrates this in a sim, like 3 different altitudes, same speed. What, like, the effect it has on the viewer. You can decide.
Big.
You can decide yourself. And Delta it has nothing to do with you. It's just a recurring theme on the show. And to agree with Larsko, as you get more mature in the hobby, the lower you can drop in altitude. There's a lot of gains. Austin Inspired knows it. He's already commented in the YouTube chat that he hears my voice. Anyways, Team DQUAD. Any other helpful tips for Delta Kana if he was a very close buddy of yours who you got into the hobby and he was looking for some real advice?
No, sounds like
nailed it.
Nailed it. Oh, you mean the bread?
Yeah, I know. Am I now?
Yeah,
yes,
you're good.
Now you are.
I think I was muted before again. Then I muted and unmuted. I don't know what's this airtime or what, but I was going to say that I can kind of see why he's flying a little higher because of the snow, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time,
Oh yeah, there's that.
there's more risk, but there's also more reward when it comes to that. So it would be even cooler if he was flying lower over the snow than if he was flying lower over grass, basically. So it's kind of a trade-off. But I get it, but things look better low.
Yep.
It was a good video.
Yeah. The audience thinks that it looks very intentional. So when I think of intentionality and, the prompt is regardless of style, does it look controlled? It does look controlled. It looks like you're in control of the quad, which is a great thing. It probably took me 2 years to make any of my flights look like that because I am no Mandoc squid, right? However, in terms of areas of improvement, variety, maneuvers, obstacles, locations, it's in the prompt. That might be something you want to look at. It looks like you had a great time flying, right? That comes across. And if that's what you want to do, kudos. But if you want to improve and make more of an impression, maybe variety or difficulty of the maneuvers you're doing, or dropping low, because those of us who fly in snow understand that it is water, right? So and it has its own challenges, right? So those of us in not in Florida, right, could totally appreciate as you drop in altitude. So don't think that's lost on us. So looks like you got a 1.6 average score on the category.
I appreciate it. That's why I'm in Florida.
Yeah, you're from Vermont. You know what's up. Genetic quad point scoring is up. Go ahead and give Delta Kana some feedback there. And let me see here.
I think
go ahead.
One other kind of thought I have, and it's one thing. Obviously, you went out, you enjoyed flying, and that's always the number one thing. Is like you should be enjoying yourself when you're flying, but giving the viewer some contrast in the types of things you're doing. There was a lot of hitting that throttle, flinging yourself high in the sky, and then chopping throttle, and then you're doing that slow dive kind of split SE thing back in or whatever. There was I felt that was happening over and over consistently. So mixing that, while those things are all good and fun to do, mixing it up a little and doing that that low fast cruise across the ground, or there was the one time where you went through the pavilion, where you hit that kind of bit of proximity, switching things up a bit.
Doomrider brings up a good point in the chat. If you're flying on a cloudy day with snow on the ground, it's really difficult. It's very difficult to see depth change in the landscape because everything is flat. 100%. That's probably the reason why I don't fly out in the snow anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it is challenging. Don't get me wrong. All right. So, Genetic Quad is not this time. I forget what I called out the score. I think it was like a 1.4 or something. 1.9? 1.6. So that's not a bad score on our scale. That would on our old scale that would have been a 16. And if you're ready to score the next video, please let us know in the Menti while I get that queued up.
Who do we got next?
I will reveal it when we get to one more. 4. One more. Oops, that's the wrong chat I'm going into. One more in the Menti, just one more. The strength of this live stream is in the audience participation and the voting.
Flyzone is calling out Jinx. Flyzone was saying he's going to be working on that Rubik's Cube maybe tomorrow.
Go for it. You can do it. Everybody can do it.
And that brings up a good point. So we have on the Discord another channel for audience tips and tricks. If you have something that you think can be helpful to other pilots, and it could be Jinx just posted a trick tutorial, Austin did a trick tutorial, but if it's other things like how you prep for flying day or how you create a line or any of those other things, please post them there. Shorter is better. So if you can do it in a minute and a half, that's better. And we would love to feature those. And I also think it gives the audience a place to go and just like see a whole bunch of like tips and tricks from a bunch of different pilots, because we all have something else to bring to the hobby. All right. I see 4. So up next, this is Eagle Eye Aerial, Carvana, no problemo.
He's from Chicagoland too. I saw this Carvana when I was doing top golf one time. I wanted to hit it. Now, are they in business in Illinois?
Carvana?
Yeah, I thought that they were having some problems with Illinois for a while.
I know someone that bought a car through them.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. And I just drove by this tower the other day.
Oh, there's the gap.
Oh, you saw it. You saw it. Yeah, I saw that instantly.
He's gonna look at it again. Oh my God!
That's tight, though.
That's a Dewey. That's a Dewey.
Oh my God! I love how you and I saw the same thing. We were looking for the same thing. It is a pretty building, though. Great advertisement. Looks at me every time.
Should I? Should I not?
Absolutely should.
Is it gonna get stuck on the roof?
It probably will.
Who is this again? This is Eagle Eye Aerials. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, look at him. He's posted up. He's going for the dives this day.
This has the feeling of like, this is a structure that looks at him every day on a commute.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna give you 3 hours on a Sunday. You've been teasing me all week.
I'm watching this and I'm getting the sense that this is someone that's newer-ish to flying FPV, and on this particular day, he sought out this Carvana spot because it was something to dive, and he wanted to practice diving. And I know that there is the risk factor of getting stuff stuck on the roof if you were to crash, but I noticed on the corners there was access to the ground. So if I were you, one of the things that I might potentially look at doing is like getting in those corners and just practicing kind of hucking yourself in towards the wall and arresting your momentum so that you're kind of catching the wall and riding it down, and then kind of riding it for as long as you can and exiting as low as you can so you're close to the ground.
Yeah, I think it's challenging because our scoring form it doesn't care. Like, our scoring form itself doesn't care how experienced you are or not. And so I think at the end of the day that if you had a great time, right, you're winning. We've said that. But if I were to give some advice there, just the intentionality. If you watch any of our live streams, like, you'll see that we heavily favor intentionality and like plotting a course through a space. And I think that's the intentionality that in your journey in FPV, freestyle FPV, if you can look at the structure and say, all right, well, there's obviously the structure, which is badass. Well, what kind of story can I make with my quad? That came up earlier. Larsko mentioned it earlier. Like, what's the story I'm telling of this moment in time, this, you know, through the music and through the use of the space itself? Because it felt a little bit, it felt like you were kind of up and down in the same kind of pattern. But there was a lot of good stuff here. You know, like just on the freeze frame, I see a truck, which is interesting. I see a tree. I see it like an awning off to the left. So there's other areas for you to utilize as well to kind of create a bit broader of a story. But that's my take on this particular flight.
Yeah, Fly High in the comment was saying first 20 seconds of the video was kind of stalling. Need to show some action right at the beginning. You know, and that's another thing of like trying to, when you're making a video, you want to capture your viewers' attention. So you kind of need to give them something to kind of
stick around.
Stick around, yeah.
So on the category scores, we were at a 1.3, not a bad score. JinxFPV, that's up now, and I think we just Doom's talking about it Saturday nights.
And Eagle Eye, I mean, I don't think we've gotten the chance to meet.
You should come hang out
in person yet, but yeah, you should definitely come hang out. We should fly.
He flies Gulf Tower a lot.
Yeah. And again, I mean, we've said this before, but like, you know, the score that your video gets is not indicative of who you are as a person. It doesn't give you your value.
Nothing to do with you as a pilot
in life or your value in FPV in general. You know, like, you just getting out there and flying FPV is sick in the first place.
The JinxFPV on this one is 50-50, which means we call it a yes. So something appealed to folks in the audience as well. So good score there. And JinxFPV point is arguably the most important point. And if you're ready to score the next video. So nice job. We appreciate it, Eagle Eye, Ariel. If you're a local, come hang out. We got a pretty big squad on the weekend. So if you're ready to score the next video, let me know. And this one is coming up from someone who's been pretty regular about contributing. This one is Uptime FPV. That's one of your teammates.
Yes.
On the Vanny Style team.
Yeah, team Vanny Style.
And a West Coast head, no?
No, he's on the East Coast. He's from Maryland, I believe. Maryland. I feel like he's from Maryland. And yeah, He's someone that is underrated. He
I don't think for
also
long.
like he's really good at freestyle. He also chases the racing front as well.
He got a feature on FPV Freestyle Kings on Instagram as well. So
Yeah,
Smooth.
dude, so locked in.
again, another. I've seen this. I saw this video earlier. No hyper smooth on the, or no smoothing on the HD.
No.
Video. It's all fingers.
See how he's keeping it low when he goes through the ground? See, that makes it interesting. Love seeing that shadow, the quad.
Yes, the shadow, the quad shadow is one of the most satisfying things that you can see while flying.
You know what I really like about Uptime's videos? Besides his abilities and obviously his great pilot, like all that's a given, right? We're watching someone who knows how to fly, that's for sure. But his spots are not epic. Like, I think his spots, you could find these in any town in America, and he's just creating compelling content. Like this is a rectangle building.
Yeah, there's no holes or anything.
This is a boring ass building.
Yeah, I would look at this spot and I would be like, can I go fly somewhere else?
Exactly.
Like, do you have something better than this?
And if I'm not mistaken, he won the Spang category at the Rampage Rippies last year at this spot. Was it?
Maybe.
I think it was the spot. Or something very similar. It's just generic looking. But I think that says a lot about how to create compelling content that resonates with a broad variety of people and audience. That was the single. That was a great, just to peel off on the music and stuff.
And he's also utilizing the entire spot, everywhere.
Yeah.
He's everywhere. I love spot like this, like parking lots with trees, and then a building doesn't necessarily have to have holes, and I just like play with just everywhere.
There's so
maybe
much.
16.
Yeah, he's young. He's pretty young.
Good job, Uptime.
Yeah, the other thing is that there's a lot of contrast in there, man. You know, like between throttle to stop and go, right? Like he mixes a lot of long flowy lines, and then all of a sudden he's doing like a almost Spangish kind of like stop and yaw spin and whatever situation. It keeps it all very interesting.
If you can vote, please vote in the menti.com. And I think we got time for maybe 2 more videos after this. But let's give Uptime, who, again, is, I think, maybe 15, maybe 16.
I think he's north of 16.
Is he?
I think so. I don't know. I don't have confirmation on age or anything like that, but yeah.
Well, he's not 18. Is that fair?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay. If you guys know how old this Uptime person is, let us know in the comments.
I could ask. You want me to ask him?
Yeah.
Ari? You want me to ask Ari how old he is?
Yeah, I have a feeling he's really young. All right, so just looking. I need to know.
He's like,
all right.
Dad, it's past my bedtime.
He can't participate. He's got school. All right, so looking at obviously
he has school. I know for sure.
What'd you say?
He has school, that I know for sure. I don't know if he's like a senior in high school or if he's in college or what.
Well, Ari, I hope that you're going to Rampage this year. If so, let's hook up. We'll probably figure
Pretty
out
sure he is.
a place for super critical audience to come meet up at a designated time. Looking at the tail of the tape, intentionality, speed, difficulty, all threes across the board. In terms of areas of improvement, production quality of video, I think that we have to accept that there's people who aren't as familiar with how difficult a lot of the stuff here is, right? And so there has to be other hooks for the less educated audience. But you know, you're doing well. I mean, someone just voted in variety, originality, production quality. You know, you're scoring really well. So 2.8 is your score on the categories, which is really high.
Real good.
It's really
the
good.
highest of the night, right?
Highest of the night. It's 3.1 is the maximum total score. We consider a 3.0 a perfect. And if you get a perfect score, we'll send you out a T-shirt that says, you know, it has your logo on the back, super critical on the front, and it says perfect on black, so it's not too annoying. Yeah. But we want to pat you on the back for making it through the gauntlet. It looks like you did get the JinxFPV point, so that puts you at a 2.9 score, which is solid for sure. And
I mean, like, you know,
Oh yeah.
I believe he's in high school.
High school, see?
And I think, I'm not sure, but anyway.
He's like 6 years, he's like 3 years old.
The fire department just showed up, and it's not because he pulled the alarm to get out of class. It's because there was straight fire!
Sick. All right.
That was good, man. That was
really
some real tasty flying. There was so many elements that we've talked about on this stream.
I was just thinking that
he's hitting, you know, hitting every corner of the spot, getting low to the ground, like hitting proxy stuff, the variety and the types of moves he's doing, like really good. I've harped on him before for you know, sticking to that session. He seems to really love that GoPro session.
It didn't look so bad in this one. I didn't notice.
No, there are times where I see it, and then, you know, like,
it's bad in low light.
Conditions are good. It looks mostly like any other camera. But when lighting conditions are not so good, you can tell from a mile away.
All right. Well, nice job, Uptime. We look forward to seeing more of your videos. I think that perfect is well within reach. We are at, I think we got time for one more. Last video.
Last video.
Go. This one, if I can get back to that screen, the randomizer has chosen Lord Wolf, LW Aerial Productions. I think we're going to see
Brandon
cinematic here.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Submit and present this. FBI versus Secret Service hockey.
Wait,
it's
what?
So crazy. FBI versus Secret Service hockey game.
What?
I know.
Like the real FBI and the real Secret Service.
They have hockey teams.
Okay, this is a. So I'm just thinking logistically, like this situation that he's flying and filming in. There is no fucking up in this situation, you know?
The FBI and the Secret Service. So fucked up.
Does he get bonus points for not fucking up?
You keep your life. You keep the life that you've built for yourself. Yeah, I mean, that one's tough. I mean, it was pretty short. It looked like it wasn't like a finished like it wasn't edited, right? There wasn't any edits in that.
There wasn't any edits in there.
I mean, I'll defer to the cinematic, the folks who have a cinematic eye. Larsko, that's been your focus. Do you have any tips? Because and just for context, and you probably know too, Lord Wolf is making a go at it, building a business. So how can we help? How can we help develop, his skill set?
So on something like that, which is a little hard to do on a situation like that because you got hockey players that are kind of randomly moving around, I would say to try to keep it a little bit lower on the horizon instead of just kind of flying over them would make it a little bit more interesting, keeping his Cinewoop close to the players, maybe even following a player and tracking them as he's skating. That would actually enhance his video a little bit more and give it more of that cinematic feel, like you're behind a player watching him skate, right? Yeah. And he obviously can't just do that to everybody because, like I said, they're going back and forth and he can't fuck up. So, but that's what I would definitely, in that particular case, that's how I would have flown it. I would have. Can
we watch it again? Sure. I know it was really short. Can we watch it again?
Seems like you'd need like a really good spotter to help you stay down low and tell you when like players were coming up you couldn't see and things like that,
Yeah.
So
the way I would have done it is I would have picked the corner, try to pick a player, and try to follow him away as he moves through. Not necessarily the guy that has the puck, but just kind of pick a player. Like it almost felt like he was kind of randomly kind of checking to see what was going on and trying to get everybody instead of really just picking. Like here, he's doing it.
Yeah.
He's doing it. See that one guy, but then he flew over him. So to me, even getting down to like seeing his skate and stuff like that. When I've done my cinematic stuff, I've done that where I actually get down and actually like look on a bike. You actually look at the guy's boot out he's on the bike.
Yeah.
One of the things.
So I will say, kind of counter to that. Like, I'm looking at this, just imagining like he got hired on to film this live hockey game, right? And so I'm looking at it and I'm thinking like, okay, he's actually probably flying appropriately for the situation.
Oh yeah, like, if it's live, for sure.
Like what you're saying is 1,000% true. Like if you want to make that shot more interesting, you want to try to get in there, and get as close as possible. But this is a live hockey game that's happening, and your quad and you getting in there to trying to get the best shot can't happen because you can't be interfering with the players and the action as it's going on.
Well, Brad did want to say something.
Yeah, so I was going to add, following one person. That's what I was thinking, like what Larsko said. If you've got 10 people that you're following, nobody's going to follow anybody. You got to have some kind of a focus, but at the same time, you can also tell a story by like maybe going around the scoreboard and then coming down on the teams that are playing or something. Like you can use other things to kind of tell your story, things that are around the rink or whatever.
So in response to Dan,
that's a great point.
In response to Dan, if we look at it's like a 50-second video clip, right? And I think maybe 10 seconds in or 5 seconds in, a shot is scored, and then the guys in the yellow, they go off to the corner to celebrate with each other. And so it's interesting to me that I would imagine you were flying for more than just this moment, right? Like, and so it's an interesting time because I think there is no more live play, right? So no one's chasing after the puck in this moment. So we follow some of the folks in the yellow jerseys back, but I think what we're missing, to Larsko's point, is a focus. That's as I say that out loud, that feels right. I didn't know where to focus. Like I didn't really know what I was looking at. I was kind of looking at everything, and I think with cinematic flying, you're telling a little bit of a story, even if it's just for 50 seconds, right? Like maybe the story is goal was achieved, celebration, and then those players are then going to go to the box, right? And I kind of missed, as just a general non-specific audience member, I kind of missed that piece for me personally.
I always say cinematically to pilots, because when I did cinematic work, I would use both. If you want to just cover and you want to be looking at something happening, you don't need a Cinewhoop for that. That's called a Mavic. You just put a Mavic, you hover it, you have the lens, you have the wide lens, and you're kind of going back and forth. You're covering the game, you're covering everything. But once you have a Cinewhoop, that's because you want to get in there. And both have its reasons. Some people try to fly Mavics like Cinewhoops and vice versa. It's, the Mavic has its purpose, the Cinewhoop has its purpose. So that's kind of what I was kind of getting at. But yeah, if it's a live game, I'd be flying a little bit more conservatively too. Because in the middle of a live stream, you drop it. But, if you watch people like Beverly Hills Aerials, I mean, they'll gap a building in the middle of a live stream. Those guys will pull that off,
Yeah.
But they're also very experienced pilots.
A lot of that stuff is also, like, with Beverly Hills Aerial in mind, a lot of that stuff will be kind of pre-planned, right? And they're also not flying over a game. I mean, looking at this, there's two ways to kind of approach it. I mean, I think what Lord Wolf did, how he filmed it, is actually probably 100% appropriate for the situation.
Sure.
But like through the eyes of like a cinematic, pilot, whatever, trying to tell the story, whatnot, you can look at it differently. But I imagine that Lord Wolf was probably flying a good portion of this game, trying to capture whatever he could, and he actually ended up capturing a goal getting scored, and that's what he shared with us here.
I see what you're saying. Well, looking
it's
at the
it's a tough one. It's a tough one, right?
Tough one. Mm-hmm. So intentionality and originality. I've never seen hockey footage, so good job, Lord Wolf. I think that the audience is a little bit more challenged in terms of, obviously it's not a freestyle video, but the production quality of the video, I think we're a little bit, at ends, right? So it's worth thinking about. I think you got some good feedback here. I threw the JinxFPV point up. I'm looking over at the comments just to see if there's anyone. Beverly Hills Aerial also has a massive coordination in the stage. That's true. But I just on that comment, because I think that's valuable from Larsko, right? It doesn't matter if it's staged. The YouTube audience is just used to seeing shit. Like,
100%.
It doesn't matter how much, the standard is getting set every day by everyone, professionals, amateurs, and it doesn't make a difference. Like, we're forced to, the general audience, and especially for this kind of work, it's a broader audience. It's not like a super niche freestyle audience. The broader audience is going to kind of be used to watching commercials and highly produced shit. So it's something worth thinking about as you use your content. So
sometimes you get lucky too when you're down there. I did a shoot where I was shooting a particular client, and he had a stunt bike guy there. And in between our breaks, I told him, I said, hey, is there a way you and I can do something? It wasn't pre-planned. And he's like, I got one battery for you. Can we do it? And so we did it. I ended up making a whole YouTube video out of it. At one point, I was so low and he picked up his bike. I actually saw the opportunity to fly under his bike and see the whole bottom of the bike as he was popping that wheelie. I couldn't have done that if I wasn't low. And so that's kind of my point. When you get in there, and I wasn't even doing with that Cinewhoop. I was doing with the full-blown 5-inch, and when you're down there, that's when you're able to kind of see that opportunity and seize it. And sometimes you get lucky like I did.
So that's interesting. And I think that lots of good input from a broad variety. Experienced pilots who've done this kind of work, dumbasses like me who are like just watching commercials all the time. The genetic quad is a 50-50, so it says yes, right? So when we watched it twice, so obviously there's something there from this particular audience that makes it rewatchable. And I think that actually lands us at the end of the show. I would love to thank the DQUAD team for spending this much time with us, telling us a little bit more about DQUAD, yourselves. Next time I'm in LA, Lars, I'm hitting you up. Jinx, I'm going to probably see you soon. 12-pack, I'll see you around the campfire. Dan, myself, we're all coming down.
Yeah, I'll be at Rampage.
I'll have a seat for you at Rampage. But any last words from the DQUAD team? Anything that we should be paying attention to in the near future? If not, all good. We'll see you out there flying, but just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything.
Thanks for having us on, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for taking the time to have us on. It's awesome.
Really good conversation.
Absolutely.
Brad, anything else from you?
No.
Oh, we have an event.
We do. I haven't worked it out, but it's June 3rd. We're going to have the Chicagoland FPV.
No, we have one this Sunday.
Oh, shit. Yeah. We got that too. There's so much going on. I can't keep track of everything. So we got the final round of the Chicagoland FPV Whoopmaster tournament.
It might be the last time that a broad audience gets to fly in that hotel. So if you're in the Chicagoland area and you have a ducted
we will hunt you down.
Drone, come. Yeah. It's an amazing spot, and I doubt that we'll have many, if any, more opportunities to fly in there. Fly High says the Barbecue Bando meetup is this weekend in Georgia. So if you're in that area, 12-pack is going to be there. Yep. Say what's up to him. You know what his face looks like. Say that you're a big fan of him. Danzy, what else? What else am I missing here?
Nah, man. I think we've hit on everything. Just, man, the weather's turning for those of us that live in cold weather climates. Slowly but surely starting to get better, so I hope everyone's able to get out there and rip some packs. And yeah, man, until next time.
Until next time. 2 weeks, we have the Acrobatics guys on to tell us about the Acrobatics FPV contest that's been going on. We hope to see you in 2. Otherwise, everyone, thank you very much. DQUAD team, thank you very much. We're out.
Good night,
Peace
everyone.
out.
Good night. Bye. Thanks for having us.
Bye.
All right. Stream is done.
Thanks, guys.